If we were to do a colonoscopy on you, Laura, it would look exactly like this, effectively normal.
There's no simple test to diagnose it, and no simple treatment that works. But at least 1 in 10 of us has irritable bowel syndrome. And as Laura told me, the effects can be miserable.
The pain, the bloating. I couldn't go to the supermarket, I couldn't go to the gym, I couldn't see friends. When we were allowed to go out for kind of social activities, wasn't able to go out for dinner. I wasn't able to go to the office for work.
But now a huge global genetics study has thrown up an interesting clue to the origins of IBS. Scientists from 40 institutions, including a team from here in Cambridge, looked at the DNA of more than 50,000 people with the condition. Then they compared it to the DNA of nearly 500,000 people without it. They spotted differences in their genes, but interestingly, the differences are similar to those that you might see in someone with anxiety, depression, or insomnia.
What that tells us is that these conditions are likely to have a shared genetic origin. They're coming from the same place, effectively, and some of that is hardwired.
So does that mean basically you could be born with a gene that could either give you IBS or anxiety or both? There's nothing you can do about it?
Yes, that's absolutely true, and that's part of what we've demonstrated. So some people who inherit these genetic variants, they may get IBS, other people may get anxiety, and some people will get both of those conditions. They're sort of hardwired, if you like.
Ultimately, these findings could lead to new treatments.
It gives us a new window on how we think about the management of IBS. A lot of treatments so far are very much focused on the gut and the abdomen and dietary therapies, and those do work for some people, but not for everybody. So what our study suggests is that we need to think a bit more about treatments that affect the interaction between the brain and the gut and target some of those nervous processes, the neural processes, and that we may well see some benefit there.
In your experience, did you feel you were taken seriously when you went to people with IBS?
No, I saw a couple of GPs and I was told that it was just IBS, and I was a bit fobbed off.
Millions have IBS, and it's thought many more remain undiagnosed. Laura hopes this research can begin to change that.
I think a lot of people are really ashamed to speak about it, and it's really difficult for them. It's something that impacts them on a daily basis and quite often for years, and they would rather not bring attention to it, I think.
Richard Westcott, BBC News, Cambridge.